everybody. Welcome back. Today I have Dr. Lorin Berland. Some of you know him as Dr. B. I don't know if you know this, but Dr. B has made a smile guide to help you pick out your denture teeth shape. And I think it's amazing. I want to thank you, Dr. B, for being my friend and helping me answer questions of the last few months of dentures.
Well, thank you. I want to thank you for all you've done for all the people out there, denture wearers new and old. Your video yesterday about learning how to eat, starting to eat, new to dentures, I think that was probably the best 8 minutes on dentures I've ever seen.
Oh, thank you so much. I know people that are getting dentures or have dentures, the first few weeks they get so nervous because it's like, I can't eat anything, I can't do this, and it's like, it's okay, just calm down. Eventually you'll be able to do that. It's baby steps, and these are prosthesis in your mouth. You don't have your teeth anymore. So it's like losing a leg. If you lose a leg, you're not going to jump out of bed and run. You're going to take your time and take baby steps. So thank you for being here, and stay tuned because in our next video, we're gonna talk about his product line. We're gonna get into that and how it came about. But Dr. B, tell me when you started working with dentures.
Oh gosh, this is my 52nd year in the wonderful world of dentures. I started when I was 15, working in a denture lab a couple of blocks from my high school. I come from a family of bad teeth, or almost all of my relatives had dentures when I grew up. And so, dentures were a big deal in my family.
Yeah.
So I started working in this denture lab. I thought, my grandmother was always saying, oh, if you were a dentist, I'd have my teeth. So I started working in this laboratory. I liked working with my hands and I liked the craftsmanship. But then one of our clients hired me to work for him in his dental office, doing the wax try-ins and the processing of the dentures. And that's when I really fell in love with dentures and dentistry, because I just couldn't believe the changes that we would see from no teeth to new teeth. It just blew me away. And it wasn't just the physical changes, which were enormous, but it was also the psychological changes. I mean, dentures were the original plastic surgery, literally plastic surgery.
Yeah.
It's kind of made out of plastic.
Yeah.
And, so I did that. There was they called it the cosmetic dental revolution. But it was all about teeth, bonding to teeth. Nobody was really talking about denture wearers. But anyway, because I was always into dentures, and I was the first fellow in the American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry. So I was kind of straddling the veneer, porcelain, fixed work, and I was also doing dentures. I loved doing dentures, and I loved my denture patients. I wrote this smile guide. I did it with 18 sets of porcelain veneers, but I planned it and thought about it for 20 years, working with dentures. That's why it's now on denture wearers, but it applies to any kind of cosmetic dentistry. If it involves the 6 front teeth, it's important.
Let me stop you right here and tell the smile guide that we're talking about. I'm going to leave a link in my description so you can go click on it. Dr. B has also started a website, denturewearers.com, and you'll find the smile guide on there and a lot of other information. Click on that on the link, you'll see, we're going to show you here also, but if you want to take the time and just go through it, you can do it yourself on his website.
While you mentioned denture wearers, it's not complete. The only thing that's complete really is the choose your smile section. There's a lot of great dentists and a lot of great dental professionals, denturists, surgeons out there. And I know there's a lot of bad ones. Yeah. And unfortunately, there's really no place for us to find the good ones, the ones to see and the ones to avoid. And a big part of denturewares.com is there's going to be a section called Find a Dentist. You will be able to review these dentists.
That is awesome to hear because,
and it's going to be all the time.
yeah, I have heard stories, and I know you have too, but I've heard stories since I've started my channel. I get messages all the time. People, their dentists just don't do them right, you know?
And you know, you can't really trust Google reviews or Yelp reviews. That I
Right.
know for a fact.
Yeah.
But I'll be taking care of this. So I know you'll be able to trust it. There will, you know, and it's going to be kind of self-policing. If there's a dentist or a denturist or any dental professional on there that's getting bad reviews, they won't want to be on there anymore.
Right.
You know?
Right. And now you know that I've started a support for the denturist. I don't know if everybody else I've knows that, but I made a email address. I want a denturist at gmail.com because they are only permitted to work in 7 states. They're only licensed in 7 states, and we want to make that change. So if you have a denture story that just isn't, like, you were treated wrong, email me your story, and in the subject line put your state and then your story, and we're going to help the denturist hopefully to be able to work in more states, be licensed in more states, because they are needed. Their profession is needed.
You know, they are licensed all through Canada, basically all through the Commonwealth countries: Canada, Ireland, Scotland, England, Australia,
Mm-hmm.
and more. And it makes and pretty much all through Europe and probably through Asia. I'm not sure, but it makes absolutely no sense that they're not licensed in every state. I mean, if they're licensed in all these countries and they're licensed in 7 states, what's the difference between those 7 and the other 43?
Right.
And it is so needed, and it's needed now more than ever for a variety of reasons. One, there's a tsunami of denture wearers out there.
Mm-hmm.
When I started working on my products over 20, 25 years ago, everybody said, "Why are you doing this? I mean, dentures are going to be obsolete." And I said, "No way." Because my personal experience, since I was always treating denture patients, was as time was going on, they were getting younger, first-time denture wearers, for a variety of reasons. And of course, they're living longer for a variety of reasons. You know, I just knew that there was a need for denture professionals. And I really think that the public is being denied their right to the best health service. And equally important, I think, especially in any time, I mean, it's a great profession to be a denturist. If you are good with your hands and you're good with people and you have a good eye, it is a fantastic profession. I mean, it's fun. And people like them. They don't have the drawbacks that dentists have. They don't have to give shots. They don't have to drill. They don't have to, pull teeth. There's not all that pain involved.
But they do come and they meet personally with you and measure your mouth, and they're in charge of making your denture. And they're artists. They're artists by trade.
That's why I said they need to have a good hands and a good eye. Mm-hmm. And of course, they have to be good with people. But for those people, it's a fantastic profession. If you look at denturists, if you find one denturist, you're going to find another denturist in that family, usually several of them, because it really is a great profession. I mean, you're doing good. It's very rewarding. It's very satisfying. I have to say, I know a lot of unhappy dentists. I don't know any unhappy dentists.
But I know, and they go to college. They just don't say, "Hey, I'm going to make dentures," and go in the lab and make them. They go to college and learn all about your mouth and your bone structure and how to make the dentures to fit you. So it's not just a thing they want to do.
They're qualified professionals.
Yes. So hopefully we want to push so they can work in more states than they are now. So make sure to email me, iwantaddenturist@gmail.com, and be a part of that change.
And the ideal thing is denturists or denture technicians working with the dentist like I did early in my career.
Hmm.
I mean, those are the best combinations
Yeah.
rather than sending it off to a lab. And even now with digital technology, it's better than ever to have it all in one place.
I just think the patient would be treated much better if the dentist and the denturist work together.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about your smile guide. Now, when you designed this, why? Why did you design this?
As I said, I've been in the cosmetic dentistry world for 52 years. I consider, dentures the original cosmetic dentistry. When I got started, I joined the American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry. It was just in its
Mhm.
infancy then. I was one of the first members. That kind of work is very exacting and it's unforgiving. It's not like, oh, let's just have another wax try-in.
Right.
Usually the teeth are sensitive. They have to be numb to even try things on, and that distorts things. And there's a lot of high stress, and
Right.
it's hard to make the right decisions. And there was no systematic way to plan a smile. And dentists and dental technicians were all taught a certain dogma that men's teeth are square and
Hmm.
women's teeth are round
Yes.
and everything should be generic. It didn't take into the personality of the smile, different lengths like longer centrals or pointy canines or cuspids. They're like snowflakes. No two smiles are exactly alike.
It,
And I saw a lot of fussy patients. Let's say I saw very fussy patients.
well, yeah, because this is their smile.
Oh yeah,
People judge you on your smile.
and when you're doing things like porcelain veneers, these are generally good-looking people with means, and they generally want to look better. As
Right.
good-looking people with means who want to look better,
Right.
and these people can be very, very demanding. There was no way for me to really read their minds what they expected other than if they were showing us pictures. But this was, again, it was in its infancy. We weren't even asking people for pictures. If we could just get the color right, we thought we hit it. And as a result, sometimes I would call it post cementation depression. After I
Okay.
cemented these things, the
Yeah.
patient wasn't exactly thrilled, and I didn't know why, because the color was right, the fit was right, the gums were healthy, everything was perfect, they had no pain, but there was something that just wasn't right, and I could read it, but they didn't have a way to communicate it.
Hmm.
And so I went back to my dentures and I started playing with denture teeth. I figured it out mathematically. You have three types of eye teeth, three
Hmm.
types of lateral incisors, that's the side one, and three
Okay.
types of central incisors. They're square, or they're square round, or they're round.
Hmm.
And the canines are either flat, pointy, or round. So
Right.
if you go 3 times 3 times 3, you have 27 smile designs. So I laid out the 27 smile designs, and 9 of them didn't look right. And when 9 don't look right, it's because the lateral incisor, the side
Hmm.
tooth, when it's square round, it always had to be more round than the front tooth. So you couldn't have like a square lateral and a round or square round central. That never
Okay.
looked right. So I eliminated those 9, and that gave me 18. So then I figured out the perfect smile design, and I should have quit then and just done it with dentures.
But
Because what I did next was very, very hard.
oh, I know, I know.
Yeah.
Um, so what you're saying is you're mixing square teeth with round teeth with pointed teeth. All of
Yeah.
your teeth are not going to be don't have to be square, and they all don't have to be round. You could mix them up. And in the smile guide, that he designed, it shows you different smiles with different, like a square tooth here or a rounded tooth with a square tooth. It shows you that in specific, and that is something that you can take into your dentist or denturist and say, I like this.
Exactly. And then it's not just the shape combination, but it's also the length combination. Some
Okay.
people like their teeth straight across. Some people like the lateral incisors a little shorter. And some people like the front teeth a little bit longer too. So we also have 3 variations of length.
So, and in the smile guide, you'll be able to see that the in the pictures that I'm putting up here, you can see that some of them, the teeth are longer in the front. You could see different sizes of teeth in there.
And then there's also little nuances that give a smile personality. Like for women, sometimes a flared lateral incisor, just a little bit of a twist to it, makes it look more natural and more beautiful.
That's what my mom has.
You wouldn't think about it, but it does. Sometimes tiny spaces are, add a lot of pizzazz.
Yeah.
They're certainly considered very sexy in certain cultures and lucky. Actually, I would recommend everybody see a documentary called The Gap-Toothed Women. It was made about 30 years ago, and it interviews women with spaces between their teeth, and it talks about different cultural attitudes. And women with a little space between the teeth is generally considered a good thing. So like if women wanted to come to me they didn't like a space between their teeth, I would try to do something reversible like bonding to close it, because I say, it's actually a good thing. It means you're in different cultures, you're sexy, you're lucky, you're good with money. It's always a good connotation. So I don't really want to change it. Let's mask it so you're kind of like Supergirl.
So the smile guide, again, I'm going to link it below. And I know that when I get my next design of teeth, I'm going to go off of that, because I did not know that existed when I had my teeth pulled out. And I think a lot of people don't know that it's there. So
they don't. And that's why it's now free for everybody on denturewares.com. And I think it'll help tons and tons of people. And then, it's not set in stone, but it definitely gets you in the right direction. Because with dentures, you could check it in the wax try-in. And actually now with digital technology, they can do, 3-dimensional mock-ups for you, so you could even see it.
Yes, I did see a video of that also. Well, Dr. B, thank you for coming on and sharing this smile design with us in your website, because I think it's very important that people can see what style teeth they want before they actually get them and they're not happy. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. It's been my pleasure, and thanks for all you do. I love your videos.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And stay tuned. If you're watching this one, stay tuned, because pretty soon I'm going to be uploading one on his product and how that came about. And if you're watching this in the future, I'll have it linked in my pinned comment, so you can go watch the next video on his product line. Thank you, Dr. Beaver. Thank you for
joining. Thank you, Michelle.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.